Hello, myself Mukesh Kumar Singh. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Information Technology. Today I am going to discuss one of the most important topic in database, that is the structured query language, SQL. Why I am going to discuss this topic? Because it is asked in everywhere. Basically, it is asked in interview question as well as it is asked in the AKGEC examination. And without knowing the structured query language, if we don't know the SQL, then definitely we don't know about the database. That's why I'm going to discuss here the structured query language. Before going to deep discussion, now we have to understand some basic facts about the structured query language. How it is involved, what are the procedure in the structured query language. We have to discuss all these things in the structured query language. SQL stands for structured query language. Actually, it is used to perform operation on the record that is stored in a particular database, such as if we want to update a record, then we have to use SQL. If we want to insert the record, we have to use SQL. If we want to delete the record, then we have to use SQL. And it is also used in creating and modifying database tables, view, and so on. These are the basic operations which are performed by the concept of structured query language. Actually, SQL is not a database system, but it is a query language. SQL is not a database, it is a query language. Actually, there are different type database, but SQL is a query language. It is a standard language for relational database system. It enables a user to create, read, update, and delete relational database and tables. Whatever the RDBMS like MySQL, Informix, Oracle, these are the name of the databases that is based on the RDBMS SQL server. All these users use SQL as their standard database language. SQL, it allows user to query the database in number of ways. Just like English language statement. In this way, we are able to use SQL for the processing of the query. What are some rules which we have to follow? In general, we have to follow some particular rules. What are these rules that is followed by in structured query language? Actually, SQL is not a case sensitive. It means if someone writes select this way, SELECT, select statement, and someone writes this select statement, both are the same. It is not the case sensitive, but in general we have to follow certain convention, and generally keywords of SQL are written in uppercase letters. This is if someone is writing in lowercase, it doesn't mean that we is going to generate error, but in general we have to follow the uppercase letter. Whatever the statements of SQL are dependent on the text lines. We can use a single SQL statement on one or multiple lines. Let's suppose we are writing query. We have to write the query either in single line or in multiple line. Third rule is that by using SQL statements, you can perform most of the actions in a database. Whatever the operation, if we have a database and we are perform whatever action, whatever operation we want to perform, by using SQL statement, we can do such operation. SQL depends on tuple relational calculus and relational algebra. Actually, the concept, the SQL is evolved. SQL is the concept of the relational calculus as well as relational algebra is applied on the structured query language. Now, next we have to understand what are the process of SQL. It means if someone, let's suppose I have written a statement, select star from table, whatever the table name, we have to write name of table, and then that is followed by semicolon. Then here user has written this statement, then what are the procedures that is involved and what are the steps that are involved to process this query and give the certain output, whatever the output of this query, what are the steps? Actually, there are 4 components to perform this query, and we will generate output in its process. What are these components? These components are query dispatcher. Second one is the optimization engine. Third one is the classic query engine, and fourth one is the SQL query engine. These are the 4 components which are involved to give the output of particular statement, particular query. Let's suppose I have written a query. This query generate output. By how it is going to generate output? It is actually there are involvement of 4 step, 4 component. These are the component are query dispatcher. There are certain work of query dispatcher, then optimization engine, classic query engine, SQL query engine. These are the steps which are involved. These are the process which are involved in the generation of output, or that is involvement that is involved for the process of a particular query. Now, next we have to understand whatever discussed in previous, whatever query optimization, query dispatcher, we have discussed all this with this diagram. That become the architecture of the SQL. It means what is the, if someone asks what are the architecture, how is it is going to process. This is the basically architecture of the SQL, structure query language. Here we have to write a query. Let's suppose I have written a query, select star from, then we have written a table. Whatever the name of table we have to write here. This is the query. Here we have written a query. After writing query, what will done next process? What will be the next process? Actually, there is a SQL language processor. What is the work of SQL language processor? After writing query, this query goes to SQL language processor. What are the work? What is the process involved in SQL language processor? Actually, SQL language processor, it contains parsers as well as optimizer. What is the role of parser and what is the role of optimizer? Let's suppose someone written select, and by mistake someone write SELCT. Here there is a mistake in spelling. There is a mistake in the select. This is the right select, this is the wrong select. Then who is going to tell user that whatever you have written, that is the wrong? Either by it's literally wrong, either it is misspelled. This is the parser. The role of parser is to user give the message that whatever you are written, that is right or wrong. If that is right, then there is involvement of optimizer. It optimizes this query, and after optimization, that goes to the DBMS engine. DBMS database management system engine, it contains file manager and transaction manager. These two, by using these two concepts, we are able to retrieve this is our physical database. This is our physical database by applying this file manager and transaction manager. Actually, the role of file manager is to where the particular database is stored, and the transaction manager, it does some certain operation to retrieve that query. This is the actual procedure of to do certain operation, to do certain process by using MySQL query. These are the steps, these are the process that are involved. After processing that, user give their output. That is the architecture of the MySQL. Now we have to discuss some characteristics of the structured query language. These characteristics are, first characteristic is that is the SQL is easy to learn. Why it is easy to learn? Actually, it is user friendly, English like language, and there are involvement of certain command. If we practice more, that become that is user friendly. That's why we can say that it is easy to learn. SQL is used to access data from relational database management system. Actually, we are using SQL to access data from relational database management system. It can execute queries against the database. If we have a database, we are able to execute query by using SQL. It is used to describe the particular data. These are the characteristics. SQL is used to define the data in the database and manipulate it when it needed. Next is the SQL. It is used to create and drop the database and tables. It is also used to create views, stored procedure, functions in a database. And not the least, SQL, it allows user to set permission on tables, procedures and views. These are the certain characteristics of the structured query language. Now, we have to discuss some advantage why we are using structured query language. First advantage is actually there is no need of the programming language. It means if you want to perform certain query, if you want to do the certain operation on certain database, then there is no need of we have to know certain programming language, either C, C++, because MySQL, whatever we are going to discuss, that follows English-like language, and we have to know the different types of command, and we are able to apply. That's why prerequisite, it doesn't mean you have to know certain programming language, then you are able to learn about the SQL. Second is that it is second advantage is high speed query processing. Actually, a large amount of data is accessed quickly and efficiently by using SQL from a particular database. Here the operations, for example, we are able to do operation, we are able to insert, we are able to delete, and we are able to update. These are the operations which are performed in SQL structured query language. Third is it is standardized language. It means all over the world, everywhere it follows certain standard, and it is standardized by ISO and ANSI. That's why it is standardized language. It is followed certain whatever the rule of that language, that is followed all over the world. Fourth one is the portability. Fifth one is the interactive language. Actually, why it is interactive language? Reason is that we can easily learn and understand the SQL language. Even we can also use this language for communicating with database because it is simple query language. This language is also used for the receiving answer to complex queries in a few seconds. And sixth advantage is that more than one data view. Actually, we are able to process even the SQL language also helps in making the multiple views of particular database structure for the different database user. If we have a database, then we are able to if we have one database, then by using SQL, we are able to generate multiple view on a particular database. This is the advantage of SQL. What are the disadvantages? Actually, disadvantage first is its cost. The operation cost of some SQL version is actually high. That's why this become the disadvantage. Interface of SQL is complex, and there is partial database control. This is the third disadvantage of structured query language. Now, after discussing advantage and disadvantage, we have to start with the what are the data types involved in the MySQL structured query language. Actually, why need a data type? Because actually, let's suppose someone says that you have to store the name of a student, then we have to analyze Actually name it is which type? It is character type, because all the name is made of certain character. If someone asks you have to store the roll number, then definitely maybe it may be possible roll number contain digits as well as character. Let's suppose someone write 21 CSE and 2642. This becomes the roll numbers of someone. It contains both numbers as well as character. That's why we have to discuss different data type. First data type is the string data type, second one is the numeric data type, and third one is the date and time data type. It is all these three data types are very without knowing these three data type, we are not able to perform the, even we are not able to store the particular database, we are not able to create a particular table. That's why we need to understand the SQL data types. First one is the MySQL data type, that is the string. Which are string involved? First one is the char. Here we have to write and mention the size. Let's suppose we are writing name. We are creating a table and we have write here name. We have to mention char, and then how many characters are required. 2 character name of name contains how many character? 10 character, 20 character. We have to specify here. Here we have to put n. If let's suppose someone written name and then type of name is char, how many characters are there? Let's suppose 5 characters there. That becomes the, this is the char data type. It is used to specify a fixed length string that can contain numbers, letters, special characters, and its size can be 0 to 255 characters, and by default its size is 1. That is the char. Same way we can also write varchar, and we have to specify here size, how many, what is the size, what is the length of varchar. It is varchar is used to specify a variable length string that it also contains numbers, letters, and special character. Let's suppose someone written here roll number, and then he specifies the data type, that is here we have written varchar, and then here we have write 10. Then if he is inserting data, then he have to write 21 CSE 2642. Then this is the valid, because here we have written varchar, here we have specified the size, and varchar it contain numbers, it may contain numbers, letters, and we have to put some special characters also. Third string type is binary. We have to write the binary and the size, whatever size, 10, 20. Actually the size it is equal to the char, but it stores the binary byte strings. Its size parameters specify the column length in byte, and by default is 1. Whatever the size of this, both are the same, but there is only one difference. If we are writing binary, then we have to write 1010 form. We cannot write here char 1 something. That's why next one is the var binary size. It is equal to the whatever the size of the varchar, the same size will be the binary var binary, and it stores byte strings. Difference is that it stores numbers, letters, and special characters, but it stores byte string in the form of 1010. Next one, the text. In text we have to write the size here, and it holds a string that can contain a maximum length of 255 characters. And last one is the tiny text. It holds a string with a maximum length of 255 characters. These are the some MySQL data string data types. Next we have to discuss same way we have to discuss medium text. It holds a string with maximum length of this one. This is the size of. If we want to store more than 255, then we have to use medium text. Even we want to store more than that, then we have to use long text. That is the size of this one. And next one is the enum value 1, value 2, and so on, value 3. Actually it is used to its purpose is when a string object having only one value chosen from a list of possible values, it contains these numbers 655 535 values in an enum list. If you insert a value that is not in the list, a blank value will be inserted. The next one is the set. In set, we have to pass value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on. We can pass n values. It is used to specify a string that can have 0 or more values chosen from particular list of possible values. Even you can list up to 64 values at one time in a set list. Last one is the blob. We have to put here size, whatever the size. It is used for blob. Actually, blob is the sort from a binary large object. It can hold up to this number of bytes, 65535 bytes. These are the data types for string in which is used in MySQL. Next data type is numeric data type. It means numeric numbers 1, 2, 3, 100. For the numeric data type, first one is the bit. Here we have written bit and we have to specify the size. Actually, it is used for a bit value type. The number of bits per value is specified in the size. Its size can be 1 to 64. The default value of bit is 1. Next one is the int, and int we have to put here size. It is used for the integer value. Its sign range varies from minus this one to plus this one, and unsigned range it varies from 0 to this one. The size parameter specifies the maximum display width, that is 255. Next one is the integer size. Even int, and it is same as equal to int size. Next one is the float. In float, let's suppose someone written is 5.2. That become it is the float, and its float we have to specify the size and d for the decimal. It is used to specify a floating point number. Its size parameter specifies total number of digits. The number of digits after the decimal point is specified by d. Let's suppose someone written here 5.2. Here d equal to 1. If someone is 5.22, here d equal to 2. That is become the d. And float p, this is another numeric data type. It is used to specify floating point number. MySQL use p parameter to determine whether to use float or double. If p is between 0 to 24, then data type becomes float. If p is from 25 to 53, then data type becomes the float. If someone written here float, and here we have passed p, it's the value of p. If value of p is 0 to 24, then the size it work as a float. If the value of p from 25 to 53, then that is known as, that become the double. Then next one is the double, and we have to pass the size, and after point how many decimal values are there. It is normal size of floating point number, where value of p is 25 to 53. That become the double. Its size parameter specifies total number of digits. The number of digits after decimal is specified by d parameter. Let's suppose someone is written double, and here 3, and next parameter is 2. It means this integer part becomes 12231.22. This is the valid for this number. Next is the decimal size and d. It is used to specify fixed point number. Its size parameter specifies total number of digits. The size parameter it is used to specify total number of digits, and number of digits after decimal parameter is used to specify by the parameter d. The maximum value of size is 65, and the default value is 10. The maximum value of d is 30, and the default value is 0. Next one is the DEC, size d. It is equal to decimal. And next one is the bool. Actually, it is used to specify the boolean value, whether that is true or false. 0 is considered as false, and non-zero, that is 1, 2, 3, and so on, that is considered as a true value. Next, we have to understand date and time data type of MySQL. Date, actually in database we want to retrieve the date, even we want to insert the date, then we have to definitely know the what is the data type of the date. We have to discuss all the data type of the date. First one is the date. If we have we specifying just simply date, it means it is used to specify date. And what is the format? It is predefined. First we have to write year, then we have to write month, then we have to write date. It is supported, it supported range. What is the range? This is the range of this date format. Next one is the date time stamp. Date time, here we are considering both date as well as time. It is used to specify date and time in combination. Then what will be the format? The format we have to here first year, then month, then date. After that hour, then minute, then second. It supported range. This is the range. For example, the range of this from this to this is the for range for the date, and this is the time format in 24 hours. Next is the timestamp. Timestamp, actually it is used to specify the timestamp. Its value is stored as number of second since the Unix epoch, that is from this one. Its format year, month and date. This is the format of timestamp. The range of this one is, this is the range of the timestamp. Actually this is the value, static value. You have to learn this value. Next one is the time. It is used to specify the time format. What is the time format? Here this is its format. We have to write hour, then we have to write minutes, then we have to write second. And next one is the year. Actually it is used to specify a year in a 4-digit format. What will be the 4-digit format? For example, this one 1901 to 215, and we can write 4 times 0. That is the year format, that is in 4-digit format. That is the date and time. Now we have to write we have to understand SQL literals. Actually there are 4 kinds of literal values which is supported in SQL. These are the these literals are character strings, bit string, exact numeric and approximate numeric. These are the 4 kinds of literals which are supported by structured query language. First one is the character string. Example of character string, let's suppose someone want to insert name. Then how we have to insert? We have to put single quotes, and then we have to write something MKS. Even we have to write single quotes A, K, G, E, C. That become the string literals. Even some database supported double quotes also. For example, we want to write roll number, then when 1, 2, 3, 4, this will become the roll number, and we have to put the single quote, that become the string. Even these are the numbers, but by using this code, that become the string literals 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one is the bit string. How we have to write bit string? Let's suppose I have written 1, that become the bit string. But there are some cases we have to put certain marks to specify bit string. A bit string is written either as a sequence of zeros and ones enveloped in a single quotes and preceded by the letter B. Actually B, for example, here we have written bit string 1, then we have proceeded by B. Here we have written combination of both 0 and 1, then we have first write B, after that single quotes, then we have to write the string, that become the bit string. And then third one is the exact numeric. Actually for example, we want to write exact numeric. Actually these literals are written as signed or unsigned decimal variety, probably with mathematical notation, that become the exact numeric. We have to discuss example of exact numeric in subsequent slides. Now here we are, after discussing all this point, now we are going to discuss some queries. Actually not queries, it is SQL commands. First we have to understand SQL commands, how many types of commands. Then after discussing commands, we have to discuss the some basic queries of the MySQL. Actually, first we have to understand SQL commands. What is the role of SQL command? SQL commands, what is the SQL command? SQL commands are instructions which we are provided to MySQL database. When we are giving certain command, we are giving certain instruction, then after giving certain instruction, we have to do certain operation. Then what is the meaning of SQL command? SQL commands are instruction. It is used to communicate with the database. Whatever database is given, we have to give certain commands in the form of instruction. It is used to perform specific tasks, functions and queries of data. SQL can perform various tasks like creating a table, add data to table, drop the table, modify the table, set permission for the table for a particular user. These are the operations and tasks which can be performed by using SQL commands. Actually, SQL commands are the instructions that are able, if we are providing certain SQL commands to database, then these SQL commands are able to perform for creation of new table. Even we can add data into table, we are able to drop the table, even we are able to modify the table. We have to set permission for user by using these SQL commands. Now we have to understand the different types of command. Actually, there are 5 types of SQL command. These commands are DDL, DML, DCL, TCL and DQL. These are the SQL command, and we have discussed all this command in detail. If we have to discuss hierarchy of the SQL command, these are the SQL command which is used for doing certain operation. First one is the DDL. If someone asks what are the example of DDL, then create, drop, alter and truncate. These are the example of DDL. Next one is the DML, data manipulation language. I have to discuss in each and every one by one. It contains insert, update, delete. Next one is DCL. That means it contains command grant and revoke. And TCL, it contains commit, rollback, save point. And DQL, it contains select. These are this is the hierarchy of the SQL command. Definitely we have to know each what is DDL and how many commands that supported by DDL and DML, and we have to know example. That's why it is very important. It is used in everywhere, that is asked in interview as well as AKGEC examination or university examination. That's why it is a very important topic. We have to understand it very carefully. First one is the DDL. DDL, it means data definition language. First we have to understand data definition language, then we have to understand which are command that is supported by DDL, data definition language. Then we have to discuss some example, 1 or 2 example. Here actually DDL, what is the role of data definition language? Data definition language, it changes the structure of table, like create a table, delete a table and altering the table. Let's suppose we have a table and we want to change the structure of table. Then there are 5 types of a command. Which command we are going to perform? Definitely if we are going to change the structure of the table, then we have to use data definition language command. DDL, it changes the structure of table. How we are going to change? Like we are create a table, either we are able to delete table, either we are alter the table. All the commands of DDL are auto committed. It means it permanently save all the changes in the database. It means there is no need separately, we no need to, after applying data definition language command, there is no need to save the database. When we are using DDL command, whatever the DDL command, that is the auto committed. It means after performing DDL command, it saves all the changes in the database. Here are some commands that come under DDL. What is this command? Create command, alter command, drop command, turnkit. These are the examples of the data definition language command. If we are using this command, after using this command, whatever the operation, that is auto committed. There is no need to write the commit statement, because that is auto committed, and whatever after performing operation, that is automatically saved in the database. That is the data definition language. Now we have to discuss the create command. What are the importance, what is the use of the create command? It is used to create a new table in the database. Let's suppose some user want to create a new table, then how he had to write? He had to write create. What is the syntax of create statement, create command? Here we have to write the keyword create, then table, create table. Then we have to write name of table and how many columns we needed, and with their data type. We have to write all these. Then what will become? The new table will be created. For example, we want to create an employee table. Then how we have to write? We have to write, first we have to write create. After writing create, we have to write table, then name of table. Name of table is employee. Then how many columns, how many attribute we require? Here we want to name, then type of name, that is varchar, and size, that is 20. Second column, second attribute, email, that is varchar, it contains 100 characters. And last one is the date of birth, and it is in the format of a date. Next one is the drop. Drop, actually it is used to delete both the structure as well as structure and record stored in the table. Let's suppose we have a table and we want to delete entire table, the structure of table, as well as we want to delete the record of table. Then what we have to write? We have to use drop command. And what is the syntax of drop? We have to write drop, then table, then we have to write table name. Let's suppose we have created this employee table and we want to remove this table. We want to delete this table with all database, all the data inserted in this table, as well as the structure of the table. Then we have to write drop, table, and name of table, that is employee. The whole table will be vanished, whole table will be deleted. Next one is the alter. Alter, it is used to alter the structure of database. Actually, these changes could be either to modify the characteristics of an existing attribute or probably to add a new attribute. Let's suppose we have a table. This table contains 3 attributes. Attribute A1, attribute A2, attribute A3. And someone, because of need, someone want to modify, someone want to more attribute, then we have to use alter table. If someone want to remove this attribute, then we have to use alter table. To add a new column in table, if we want to add a new column, here we want to add a new column, then how we have to use? We have to write alter table, name of table, then we have to write add, and whatever the column name and column definition we have to write. Then what will happen? New table, new column will be the added. For example, if we want to alter, if we want to add one more column, that is address, we have to write alter table, then name of table, we have to write add, and the column, whatever column we want to add, here is the name of attribute and its data type. And last one is the turnkit. Actually, it is used to delete all the rows from the table and free the space containing the table. It means we have a table and we want to delete only the data present here, not the entire table. If we want to delete entire table, then we have to use drop. But we want to delete only, we want to free these spaces. We have to remove all these data, then we have to use turnkit. The syntax of the this command will be, we have to write the turnkit and table name. For example, whatever the employee table, we want to delete all the records, then we have to write turnkit table and employee name of table. That is about the data definition language DDL command. In this lecture, we have discussed some basic concept of the structured query language. Thank you for listening my lecture. Thank you again.